So previous lecture we have learned with the mucoprotein, glycoprotein. Glycoprotein in that in sperms, anti-fertilizing protein is there. So which prevent the fertilization process with another ovum, as well as in ovum fertilizing protein is there. So after fertilization process, the fertilizing protein that forms the fertilization membrane surrounding to the ovum, which prevents entry of the another sperm. So we say that scientific word, to prevent the entry of the another sperm, this is known as polyspermia. Polyspermia. So to prevent the further fertilization with another sperm which are outside of the ovum. See, one ovum fertilized with the one sperm only. So this fertilizing prevents polyspermia, means the multiple fusion of the multiple sperms to the ovum. Okay, then special points for protein. Monomeric protein, which consists only one chain of the polypeptide. So only single chain of the polypeptide is present in monomeric protein. Then oligomeric or polymeric or multimeric protein. So here it consists more than one polypeptide chain. So here one level is there. protein is the intercellular ground substance. Trypsin, insulin, antibody, receptors, and the GLUT4. Trypsin is an enzyme. So collagen, you know that the most abundant protein in animals and intercellular ground substance. Trypsin is an enzyme. Insulin is hormone. Antibody fights foreign particles. Just for example, we say that the bacteria or virus, any type of the infection occurs in our body. So with the help of the antibodies, so as you know that antibodies are known as immunoglobulins, and these are belonging to gamma globulins. So these antibodies fight against the foreign particles or infectious agents. Receptors, sensory receptors, for example, smell, taste, hormones, etc. In 22nd chapter, I have told to you that receptors are present on the membrane bound receptors are there. So these receptors receive the hormonal molecules and send it inside the cell and then sent to the nucleus. So this hormone is first entered inside the nucleus, change the DNA, and according to the DNA changing related to the hormone, the particular function is formed there. Okay, and GLUT4 is nothing but the glucose transport. Okay, transport of the glucose. So it controls the glucose transport in the cell. So GLUT is nothing but the glucose transport or glucose transferase enzyme. So now continue with the nucleic acid. As you know that nucleic acid is actually nucleoprotein, and this nucleoprotein is made up of the two things, nucleic acid and protein. So from the RBC in our blood, from the WBC, our RBCs and platelets can lack of the nucleus. So there is no any particular genetical role of RBC as well as platelet in our blood. But yes, RBCs are very helpful for oxygen transport. Okay, gaseous exchange for that hemoglobin is very essential, and platelets can helpful for coagulation of the blood. But WBCs are nucleated and it consists the chromosomes inside. So acid, it consists two types, DNA as well as RNA. You know that each and every organism on earth consists nucleic acid. But majority of an organisms consist genetic material as a DNA, whereas virus consists the genetic material as a RNA. But some virus consist the genetic material as a DNA also. Just for example, we say that bacteriophage. Bacteriophage is nothing but it is the virus which affects the bacteria. So bacteriophage, it is useful in biotechnology process and it consists double-stranded DNA. Fine. So as you know that DNA and the RNA, in between that the difference. DNA is genetic material in most of the organisms, whereas RNA as a genetic material in the virus. DNA is double helical, RNA is single helical. DNA consists thymine as a nitrogen base. So as you know that this nucleic acid is made up of the three things. These are nitrogen base, pentose sugar and phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid is present in the form of the H3PO4. So that chemical structure of phosphoric acid that you know it very well. Pentose sugars are two. If RNA is there, so in RNA, ribosome is present as a pentose sugar. So ribose is there as a pentose sugar in RNA, whereas deoxyribose is present as a pentose sugar in DNA. That is the only difference between the RNA and DNA is that we had learned this in the carbohydrate topic, that ribose consists C5H10O5, whereas deoxyribose consists C5H10O4. On the second carbon only oxygen difference is there in both ribose as well as deoxyribose. Then nitrogen bases are of two types, purine and pyrimidine. Purine is single ring structure, double ring structure, whereas pyrimidine are single ring structure. That all the structures we have drawn that, and I have given the clue, I have given the shortcut method to remember each and every nitrogen base. So just right now I can revise that. Purine nitrogen base, in that two nitrogen bases are there, adenine and guanine, whereas in the pyrimidine nitrogen base, cytosine, thymine and uracil are there. Cytosine, to draw that, one amino 3 keto. Okay, so on the first carbon you have to put the amino group, and on the third carbon you have to put the ketone group, and remaining alternate double valency can be formed, and afterwards the remaining valency can be filled with the hydrogen. So to draw the cytosine, the code is 1 amino 3 keto. To draw the thymine, 1 3 keto 6 methyl. The rule is same, similar to the cytosine. And uracil, to draw that, 1 3 keto core you have to use that. Whereas if you have to draw the adenine nitrogen base, 1 amino in adenine and 1 keto 3 amino in guanine, and here the double ring structures are there. So adenine, guanine and cytosine, these three nitrogen bases are common in RNA as well as DNA. Whereas in the DNA, thymine is present in RNA uracil is present. So we say like that, uracil is absent in the DNA and thymine is absent in the RNA. Fine. Now, the next point, okay, pentose sugar and nitrogen base. So here you know that when this pentose sugar and nitrogen base are attached together, nucleoside forms. So here in the nucleoside between the pentose sugar and nitrogen base, so this is the most important one. Between the pentose sugar and nitrogen base, you know that first nitrogen and first carbon. First number nitrogen of the pentose sugar of pyrimidine nitrogen base and first carbon of the pentose sugar, whereas ninth carbon of the purine nitrogen base with first carbon of the pentose sugar. Okay, so first nitrogen of pyrimidine plus first carbon of the pentose sugar and ninth nitrogen of purine with first carbon of nitrogen base. So N-glycosidic bond is present. Then next is, you know, now nitrogen base, so directly I can bring it right here, nucleoside and phosphoric acid. So as you know here in the nucleoside, each and every nucleoside on that fifth carbon is free there. So on the fifth carbon of pentose sugar in each nucleoside is attached with the phosphoric acid and form the nucleotide. So fifth carbon of the pentose sugar, and with this the phosphoric acid is joined, fine, and form the nucleotide. At that time phosphoester bond is formed. So when we are talking about the each nucleotide, so you have to consider that phosphoester bond which is present in between this and already in the nucleoside and glycosidic bond is there. So when we say like that nucleotide, so you have to consider an glycosidic bond and phosphoester bond there. Fine. Then how the dinucleotide forms, that you know it very well. third carbon of pentose sugar of first nucleotide of one nucleotide is attached with fifth carbon of pentose sugar of next nucleotide. Now the most important is with this is known as phosphodiester bond and forms dinucleotide. So in this way, with this dinucleotide, many nucleotides are arranged in such a way, fine, and form the polynucleotide chain. So as you know that in the polynucleotide chain, the one chain is in the 5' to 3' direction. So I have explained in lecture that the first nitrogen base on that fifth carbon is free, so that end is known as 5' end, and the bottom's pentose sugar third carbon is free, so we say that it is 3' end. In DNA, double helical structure that both the strands are anti-parallel to each other. Both the strands are anti-parallel to each other, or you say both the strands are parallel but in the opposite direction. So if the one strand is in the 5' to 3' direction, opposite strand is in 3' to 5' direction. Fine. Then many important points. Number of adenine is equal to number of thymine. Fine. The number of adenine is equal to the number of thymine. Same way, number of guanine is equal to number of cytosine. As you know that in the DNA double helical structure, adenine is bind with the thymine with the help of two weak hydrogen bonds, or you say that adenine bind with uracil also in RNA. Okay, so adenine is there, so either it binds with the thymine or uracil with two weak hydrogen bonds, whereas cytosine and guanine attached with three weak hydrogen bonds. Then in any type of DNA, A plus T does not is equal to C plus G. Mostly, fine. In any type of the DNA, A plus T does not is equal to C plus G. But in any type of the DNA, A plus G is equal to T plus C. So we say like that here, number of purine is equal to number of pyrimidines. As you know that this many points I have discussed right now, these are the rules of Edwin-Chargaff rule. Okay, and the double helical structure of the DNA, 3' to 5', antiparallel to each other, both are in the opposite direction. Purine combined with pyrimidine only, but you know that purine cannot bind with the purine and pyrimidine cannot bind with the pyrimidine. So this all the rules are of the BDNA, applicable for BDNA only. Okay. A, B, C, D and Z, 5 types of DNA are there. So majority we are discussing the structure of the DNA, that is of the BDNA. So number of purine is equal to number of pyrimidine, and as you know that figure of 8 is a 1 helix. Okay, that I will tell you later on. 1 point remains here. A plus T upon C plus G ratio is mostly constant for each and every individual of same species. If you are talking about the any species, individual organisms, so A plus T upon C plus G ratio, it becomes constant for all the organisms, all individuals. But when you change the species, this ratio will be altered. Now, you know that figure of 8 in the DNA consists 1 helix. The length of the 1 helix 34 angstrom. In 1 helix 10 nitrogen base pairs are there, or you say that 20 nitrogen bases. Both are right, but according to the question, the answer will be altered. Between two successive nitrogen base pairs, 36-degree angle is there. Between two successive nitrogen base pairs, 3.4 angstrom distance is there, and the width of the helix is 20 angstrom. So this is about the nucleic acid in detail, and I have given the one MCQ that if you have 4,000 nitrogen bases, and you have to form the DNA, so that you know that what is the length of the DNA, how many helices are formed. Fine. If adenine is 700, so how many cytosines are there? So you get the answer that 2300. How it will come, that you know it very well. But now if adenine are 700, so according to that question, how many weak hydrogen bonds are there in the DNA? That you have to practice for that. Now you pressurize little bit to your mind that how many N-glycosidic bonds are there, how many phosphoester bonds are there, how many phosphodiester bonds are there for that same equation. Okay, so this is about the nucleic acid. So biomolecules discussion is totally over. Fine. I hope you understand this. So here I can stop now.